From retro to next gen, we've got it all. I'm George, a Gen X grown-up, and this is Bit by Bit. Okay, here's a very interesting bit from arstechnica.com. There has been somebody who's created a postage stamp size Atari 8-bit computer, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this visual before I even get into the article. That is a game token and a 1x3 Lego brick right next to the entire Atari system. This is built on FPGA technology, so it can emulate, or not really emulate, because emulate's not proper. This is, you can recreate any of these Atari computers, like the Atari 400 Mini that the article mentions here. The guy who created this, he's a Polish designer named Piotr Osa Ostapolczyk. I apologize, sir. You are a genius, and I am butchering your name, and you deserve a ton of recognition. This thing is just 2 by 1.5 centimeters, ladies and gentlemen. That's batshit crazy to me. That these computers that you see in this graphic are now held inside of a device in this graphic. That's just crazy. Now, I know John here at Gen X Grown Up is a huge Atari 8-bit fan. I think this would be something he would want to get a hold of. Unfortunately, the article doesn't talk about how you can acquire one of these devices. He may have only built one for himself. We don't know yet. There is down here somewhere, I forget where I found it, but there's a YouTube link down in part of the body of this thing where he did an interview in January of 2024 for someone. I might see if I can reach out to this guy myself and let John get a whack at interviewing him, because who knows what he's done in the last year. But yeah, a 1980s Atari 8-bit computer in the size of something that's no bigger than a Lego brick, that's crazy. Here's an interesting bit of news from TimeExtension.com. It looks like Donut Dodo is getting a sequel, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It was originally released back in June of 2022 for the PC, Atari VCS, and the II Arcade back in the day. This game was inflicted upon me by John here at Gen X Grown Up. It is an incredibly nostalgically awesome game that is also incredibly difficult. I just keep dying all the time. Anyway, the company that's developed this game, Pixel Games Sarl S, they've been working on Cash Cow DX and Looney Landers, but now they're finally ready to do a sequel. And here's their announcement over on X. Happy Donut Day, everybody. Time to reveal Donut Dodo Fantastico. They've got a link over to the Steam store, which is also in this article. And on the Steam page, here's some details that you can find out. 6 unique funfair-themed stages and all new attraction-based mechanics. Type-precise controls, which means I'm going to die even faster now. Multiple secrets and alternate endings based on skill and progression. Well, I know what my endings are going to look like. But anyway, you might have better luck. CRT-friendly pixel art, 16-bit color, or 16-color palette. Sorry, not 16-bit color. High-energy chiptune soundtrack. No continues. Each run is a fresh chance to climb the leaderboard, or, if you're like me, just freaking die. Anyway, this game is awesome. Can't wait till it comes out. Do not forget to wishlist it on Steam, because that really helps the developers out. It moves their game further up the recommendation pages over there on Steam. It's absolutely going to be worth it. I cannot wait for this new Donut Dodo game to come out. Okay, here's a historical bit from our friends over at TimeExtension.com. They're begging you to find 22 minutes to watch a mini documentary on the genesis of Sega's Virtua Fighter. Now, Virtua Fighter is a super fun game from the past. I love that game. It was awesome. What's even better, though, is this documentary from this Stray Fox Splash Wave YouTube channel. They've done a really good job. So most of the graphics that are in the documentary are all their own creation. It's really high production value in this thing. I was just sitting there watching the first few minutes of the documentary to see if it was worthy bringing it to the bit-by-bit audience, and I got caught up in it. I was like 10 minutes in and go, oh crap, I need to record this bit for the next episode that I put it in. It's really well done. I definitely think you should go check out their channel and this video in particular. I might become a fan of theirs and watch some more of their videos, you know, in between all the Gen X grown-up videos, of course, but still, this is well-researched, well thought out, well narrated. Production value is super high on this, so yeah, I agree with time extension. Find 22 minutes to watch this documentary. You won't be disappointed. All right, here's a cool little bit from GamingOnLinux.com. ScummVM has announced support for Another World, or as you might also know it, Out of This World. I love this game. Fun fact, this is the game that kind of started mine and John's friendship back in the day when we were in an old Star Trek fan club. He brought me over to his apartment one afternoon, sat me down in front of his Amiga 500, and showed me the intro for this game, and I immediately fell in love. I had only ever dealt with an Atari 2600 or a Commodore 64 at that point, so seeing that game blew me away. I went out later that week, bought myself an Amiga 500 off of somebody I found in the newspaper, got the game, started playing it. I think you should too, and now you can play the original on ScummVM. So head over to GamingOnLinux.com, check out this article. They got a link to the Scum website so you can get some more information. But yeah, Another World on ScummVM, that's just freaking awesome. Here's an emulation bit from our friends over at XDA.com. There's a setting in RetroArch called Run Ahead that says that it will make the game feel more responsive and more like a modern release. So, I was reading this article. It's got a lot to it, and I haven't finished the whole article, but there's a lot of detailed information in here. So RetroArch is an emulation system that you can use to run old games for old systems on your modern PC, if you don't know already. If you are an emulation fan, I'm just telling you stuff you already know about. But let's say that you're running the Nintendo emulator to play Super Mario World, or is that, I forget which it is, Super Nintendo? I don't remember. Anyway, it goes into a little bit of detail saying that there is an inherent bit of lag just based in the way that the game was originally coded. So you click the button to make Mario jump. It takes a couple of frames for that input to get to the program, and Mario jumps on the third frame. So that's why it feels a little bit laggy, because it's just the way it was built. But this run ahead setting apparently uses save states to help calculate how the game should react when you press the button. In other words, making Mario jump 1 to 2 frames earlier when you play. Now, like I said, I haven't finished this article yet to know if this means you have to play the game several times in order to have some save states for this to use to calculate that setting. But man, this sounds really interesting. I didn't know that this existed in RetroArch, and I'm definitely going to play around a little bit with it, because it's true that sometimes when you're playing the older games in emulation, you feel that lag more keenly, and it may not be the emulator's fault. It may just be the way the game was originally coded. So anyway, check out this article. I'll have the link in the description down below if you want to learn more about it, or just click the setting in RetroArch if you're using that and give it a try. That's going to do it for the news making headlines in the gaming world right now. I am George, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep on bringing you the news bit by bit.